From the get-go, we're going to be talking about generators. First rule of generators: never, and I mean never, ever run one of these bad boys in your garage, in your house, or anything else. These things are deadly. You might as well just pull your car into your living room, start it up, go to sleep, and sayonara. Because the carbon monoxide that comes off this is a silent killer, and there's more people, you hear about it all the time whenever there's a major storms or anything else. People put them in their garages or in their homes. Yes, I know, in their homes, and they run them and they die. They find them dead a few days later from carbon monoxide poisoning. So this goes as far away from your house as literally possible, as long as you have a cord that will reach inside your home. And this way here, you're going to be safe. Safety is the first main key. First thing you want to do with your generator is every month you want to make sure that you're getting your generator out. You want to take your generator outside, you want to fire it up, and you want to let it run for at least an hour. Now, I would highly suggest that you do put a load on the generator. So hook some stuff up to it and see how she does. Watch your meters in the front. Make sure everything is jiving, hook up some fans, use it to do, if you have electrical lawn type equipment like hedge trimmers, weed eaters, leaf blowers, any of that kind of stuff, hook that stuff up and run it and make sure you're giving this thing a little bit of a workout. Because you really want to find out if there's a problem before you have to use it. Now, second thing, if you do have to fill your generator, you are running your generator outside and it runs out of fuel. Now, you want to make sure that you let this generator cool down before you add any gasoline to this. You want to make sure that you do have a funnel that you can put in here once the machine has cooled down, because you have a lot of hot stuff on here, especially the exhaust, which is right over here. All right, and that sucker gets really hot. If it's running, say it's outside, especially if it's sitting in the sun, it's going to be very, very hot. So a little bit of gas splashing on there wouldn't take much to catch on fire. And now you got a whole nother problem on your hands. So make sure that this thing cools down, then fill it up, and then put the cap back on, and then you can fire the bad boy back up. But at that point in time, also, you'd probably want to make sure that you do check your oil. If your generator doesn't have a check oil light, which will notify you that your oil is low. Now, if your oil is low, most of the generators, the oil goes right here in the front. All right. Now you have that little dinky little hole right there that you got to put it in there, kind of like your lawnmowers and stuff. So you want to make sure that you do have a small funnel that is small enough to fit in there, and add your oil. Make sure that you always have extra oil on hand. I keep 3 of these on hand, and I also make sure that I do have spark plugs. Just on the chance that something does get gummed up or anything like that, you have extra spark plugs to fall back on. This way here, as long as you can keep gas in it, keep the oil going, and you have spark plugs, you should be pretty much good to go. Your generator should come with a spark plug puller, all right, remover, whatever you want to call it. All right, if it doesn't, just go to any local hardware store, Walmart, anywhere. You can buy these things. And this way here, this is designed to take out these spark plugs. Boom, pop the spark plug out, plop the new one in, fire the bad boy up, and let it run. All right, now when you're running your cords and everything, you want to make sure that you're using a really, really good outdoor cord, a heavy gauge cord. Don't buy cheap extension cords like you would run in your house or something like that. You need something that's going to handle the load going into your home. Now, if you want to hook up a generator, something like this, to your house, you want to make sure that you do have an electrician come in and put in a double transfer switch, which will take and it breaks up the power. So it doesn't let power go back through the line going, say, out to your pole. All right, so say you have linemen out here that are working on your pole and everything else. The double transfer switch, if you're running this, what happens is it doesn't let anything go out. Everything goes into your home, nothing goes out to the line. So you're not powering the lines if you have a line crew out there that's trying to work on them, which is very important, folks. Now, once you do have your electrician come in and install one of those switches and transfers, what you want to do is you have to have a certain size generator to run certain things in your home. The baseline is 5,000 watts. This is a 4,000 watt. Okay, so this would not work. This will run my appliances and stuff, but I have to run cords to them. So when you hook up to your house, right, before you fire up your generator, you want a 5,000 to a 7,500 watt generator. In my opinion, if you're going to be spending all this money and you're going to be having somebody come in and put the double transfer in for you and hook it up and everything, you want to just go ahead and try to get the 7,500 watt generator. This way you can power more things in your house. The higher the wattage, the more you can power. The lower the wattage, the less you power. That's just the way it works, folks. Okay, break it down for you in a nutshell here. What you do then at that point, before you fire this up and you've already hooked it up to your double transfer, you go into your breaker box, you turn off everything. All right, everything gets turned off. You fire up your generator. Then you go through and you turn on the things you want to run. So you want to run your refrigerator, you want to run, you say your freezer, you want to run this, that, whatever else. And you have to make sure you're watching your load meters and seeing where you're falling as you're turning on the said products. All right, that's just one thing that you can do, and to make sure that everything is okay and you're not overloading your system. Now, most generators all do have these breakers. All right, they do come with the breakers and everything else. You have your meter right here. This is just your on and off switch. Instead of just turning it off by the switch, turn it off by the gas. Turn off the gas and let it die out. Reason being, this way here, it gets all the fuel out of the lines and out of the motor and everything else. So it's a very, very small chance of anything getting gummed up in there. All right. So this way here, you turn the gas off. It's going to burn everything out that's in the line, in the system, the whole 9 yards, and it'll just die. Then you hit the power off switch and put it away or whatever you're going to do. You always want to make sure that the generator does cool off before you bring it back, say, into your garage or your shed or something like that. So let it set for a good hour or so in the shade and let it cool off. So this way here, you don't have any problems with any fires or anything like that. Now, let's move on down the line. Your butane and your propane stoves, those are perfectly fine to use in your homes. Now, with that being said, you may want to ventilate, open a window or something like that, just to let out a little bit of the fumes, because they do put off fumes. Okay, so if you do it in your house, you don't have any other choice, you don't have a back patio or a garage where you can open the door or something like that. If you're going to do it in the house, you're perfectly fine to do that. Just either crack a window or something like that so it just does ventilate. All right, but you're perfectly fine using those propane type things in your home. Your gas grill, do not use in your home. I wouldn't even suggest using that in your garage, just because depending on what you're cooking, you're going to get flare-ups, you're going to get smoke and everything else. You don't want any of that kind of stuff getting into your home. You don't need to be breathing all that in. That's why they're designed to use outside. The same with your charcoal grills and everything else. Those are all definite outdoor only type products. Now, something that is perfectly fine to use in your house at any given time and at any given moment is your battery banks. Your battery banks can be used in your house at any given time, totally safe. You don't have to worry about anything, smoke or fires or anything like that. Your battery banks are always safe to be used in your home at any time during any emergency. Now, what you could also do is, say during the day, if you got your generator running and you're charging, say, well, your refrigerator. You know, you need to make sure the stuff in there stays cold, or your freezer, plug your battery bank in, because you can always have another plug on this where you could be running it to a power strip. And this way here, you could be charging your cell phones, your flashlights, your radios, and all your type of things that are rechargeable while your generator is running your said refrigerator, your freezer. So you're multitasking, you're getting the most out of the gas that you're putting into this to maximize everything that you need to get power for. So if you charge your battery bank, if you don't have solar panels, you charge this during the day. At night time, if you need to fall back on something, you fall back on your battery banks. Okay, and this way here, you can charge or put a light on, a fan on, those type of things. So there's just a lot of different scenarios that go into all this. And I just want people to be safe. That's the biggest thing. That's the reason I'm doing this video is safety precautions. All right, I don't want anything to happen to anybody in the community. I don't want anything to happen to anybody that's even not in the community but watching this video. Safety is a huge thing when it comes to prepping. You really have to pay attention to what you are doing. You have to pay attention and know how to use your products. That's why it's good to get this thing out once a month, fire it up, see how it works, run some stuff, everything else. The same with if you're not familiar with using propane stoves or butane stoves or gas grills or charcoal. You know, there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to do some of these things. You need to get out there and familiarize yourself and work out the kinks so you understand how all these mechanisms work. Because some of these things, like this bad boy, you get touching stuff, you could kill yourself. It's generating power, folks, 4,000 watts of it. So you just want to make sure that you're really paying attention to what you're doing.